Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Multiverse 2.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto Had Harem with Princess Girl Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. This has got to be a nightmare. This can't be anything else. All I'm seeing in this dream is a battlefield. There's an army of white plant men and many people who are fighting them. Issei Hyodo thought. Then to his shock, he saw an injured person got eaten by that white plant man. Kaden. Hosenka no Jutsu. Fire release. Phoenix Sage Fire Technique. Issei heard himself shout a technique that made surging volley of small fireballs come out from his mouth, devouring the plant man. Kakashi. Someone called at his direction. Why I am called Kakashi? Thought Issei as he looked at the person who called him. As soon as he saw the person who called him, the only thing he thought was, this guy's has got his fashion sense down in hell. Who the hell wears a green tight spandex in the middle of a battle? What's worse is that he even had a perfect bowl cut hair with huge twitching eyebrows. This has got to be the person with the worst fashion sense I've ever seen. What do you want now, guy? This isn't the time to be talking. We need to somehow prevent these white Zetsus from advancing even further. He heard himself speak at the person now named as Guy. Kakashi, the Rokudaime Hokage had called for a retreat. In which he heard himself replied back full of disbelief. You can't be serious. If we lose this place, then we lose a large part of our remaining bases. I'm sorry, Kakashi. The Rokudaime deemed that we would rather lose one of the bases than our ninjas. Issei never got the chance to reply back as there was suddenly a crashing sound several meters in front of them. What he saw was a man with pale skin and long white hair straight to his hips down to his torsos, having a face of madman with three eyes that look like light purple sclera with a ripple pattern that spreads over the eyeballs. He also has two horns while wearing a bloodthirsty grin. Surrounding his body was those weird floating black balls and in his right hand is holding a staff. Issei shivered as he looked at the man, feeling fear all over his body with his instincts screaming at him to run and never look back. He heard the man named Guy demanded. Kakashi, leave now as I stall this unyouthful person with all my strength. Guy, you are not facing him alone. I'll face him with you at least. In which Guy replied, no, Kakashi. As of now, you are more valuable than me for this war. We need to win this war and if we want to live with free will, we can't afford to lose you as well. What bullshit are you saying? We will face him both. We can't afford to lose you as well. Kakashi, you need to understand. Right now, we are facing Madara. Even if we face him together, we won't win. We will die. I can stall him long enough for you to escape. I know that you can't stall him, you know that yourself, don't you? Guy questioned and before he can continue, the man named Madara spoke. Why are you Konoha nins taking so long? If you want to dance with me before you die, at least do it faster. I'll wait for you to finish talking, just do it fast. Issei suddenly felt pissed at the guy because of his arrogance. Kakashi, leave now before he starts to attack. Before he could reply he felt Guy gathered something from his body as he heard him speak. Kaiman, Kai, gate of opening, release. As soon as Guy spoke, Issei felt enormous energy from Guy being released as he heard him continue. Human, Kai, gate of healing, release. Issei saw Guy's wound started to heal until all of his wounds are gone. Simon, Kai, gate of life, release. This time, he saw Guy's skin change from normal to a darker red and his temples suddenly erupted veins while his eyes completely turned to white. Showman, Kai, gate of pain, release. Even more energy is being released in Guy's body. Toman, Kai, gate of limit, release. He continued. Kaiman, Kai, gate of view, release. Vortexes formed from the nearby water bodies suddenly appeared surrounding Guy. Kyoman, Kai, gate of wonder, release. Issei saw Guy gritted his teeth on pain of opening those gates and an aura suddenly coats Guy surrounding his body. Shimon, Kai, gate of death, Release. He heard Guy screamed in pain as a flaming aura of red steam is released on the pores of his body, hair, and eyebrows. Issei heard himself berated Guy. Are you insane, Guy? Opening the gates from 1st to the 8 will make you lose your life. Hearing himself say those words made Issei blanched at disbelief and looked at Guy with sad eyes, knowing that he can't do anything in this situation even if this is a dream. Rival, I know that we won't live in facing this demon, but don't worry. As my friend and rival, I will do my best to save at least your life, knowing that we can't save both. I can't do that. Guy interrupted him. Please, I know that you know we can't survive this both. At least give me the satisfaction of saving my rival in exchange of my own. At least, accept my sacrifice, Kakashi. Guy replied with his good guy pose and a white smile. I'm getting bored of your sentimental speeches. Seeing that you have already opened the gates, let's dance, might Guy. Madara screamed with his gleeful expression. Issei suddenly felt himself getting kicked by Guy as he saw the two people engaged in a fierce hand-to-hand combat. He only felt tears on his cheeks as he saw himself running from the fight, knowing that he can't do anything. And in exchange of that, he lost his friend and self-proclaimed rival. He turned when he heard Guy screamed in pain as he saw Madara brutally injured but was holding Guy, who was looking at him with eyes telling him to get away. He could not even move to save Guy, feeling his body wrecked in pain from the kick he received as he saw Guy getting impaled in his head. Waahhhhhh. Issei screamed at the top of his lungs, falling in his bed with a headache filling his head. Ouch. That hurts. Issei cursed as he tried to muster his strength to get up. Only to feel weak, then grabbing his head that is throbbing in pain of his headache. Did I really had to have a headache today of all times? This fucking headache ruins my date, he said as he sighed in exasperation. I need to take some painkillers to lessen this headache. Still, why did I have that weird dream? It doesn't make sense. All it does is making me feel some deja vu. Maybe my date with Yuma-chan will make me forget about the dream. I wish that she will also let me grab her opai. This will be my first date. I won't screw this up. Issei cheered in his heart with full of perverted thoughts. Grabbing his newly bought clothes for his date, he drank a painkiller, then he started to fix himself. Grinning at himself as he saw his reflection on the mirror. Damn, I look good even though these clothes are simple. A simple blue fitted shirt and neatly ironed black jeans is enough for my first date. Now all I need to do is to take Yuma-chan to many places so that she'll enjoy our date. And maybe a first kiss with the sunset as background later. After arriving at the meeting place, he waited for his date Yuma to appear. He was given a flyer by a girl who looks like she's advertising the contents of it. I wonder what's this flyer. I'll read it now just to pass time. What's it say? We will make your wish come true. Looks like fake advertisement. Guess I'll throw it away. Before Issei could throw the flyer away, his name was called by a girl's voice. Issei-kun. He looked at the direction where his name was being called. He saw Yuma waving her hand while running towards him. Yuma-chan, you look good on your clothes. Oh, Yuma-chan, your opai seems beautiful today as well. Issei gave a compliment, but he can't help looking perversely at her bountiful. No. This is my first date. I won't ruin it by being perverted around her. I need to be a gentleman. Issei shook his perverted thoughts with a sincere smile in his face. Issei-kun, did you wait too long? She asked while Issei gave a reply. Nope. Yuma-chan, I just arrived as well. How long I've wanted to use that line. He thought while giving a grin at his date. Well, Issei-kun, let's go for our first date. Yuma then started to grab his hand while heading towards the destination of their date. I'll just throw this later then. Issei just placed the flyer in his pocket while being dragged by Yuma for their date. It was sunset the moment Issei finished his date with Yuma. It's here. The sunset as a background is here. Now all I need is a kiss, then it will be a dream come true. Issei thought happily as he heard Yuma's voice started to speak. Issei-kun, can you do me a favor? She asked sweetly innocent voice. Yes. It's the kiss. What else could it be? The sunset as a background and a kiss to celebrate the first date. Sure. Yuma-chan, anything you ask. I replied with a thumbs up. Then, would you die for me? She asked. The previous innocence was gone and it was replaced by a distinct but sultry voice. My headache must be returning. I didn't quite hear what you say. Yuma started to lean towards Issei and whispered into his ear. Would you die for me, Issei-kun? Issei didn't have time to reply as soon as she saw Yuma began to change her form. Her cute clothing turns into a sexy costume that looks just like a BDSM costume that barely covers her body. She grew even more taller, her became even more bigger and bountiful, and her thighs looked even more juicier. Her whole body figure became even more sexy and curvaceous. Oh pie. Wait, why does she have black wings with feathers? This looks like something out of freaking fantasy. Before Issei could continue thinking, he saw her forming something that looks like a spear, then she threw the spear at Issei's gut, making him fall to his knees. Wah, was all Issei could say as he looked at his wound and back to the one that caused it. I'm sorry. Don't worry about our date, I enjoyed it. It's like playing with a kid, but my fun has to come to an end. My superiors think that you were just too much of a threat. So I had to kill you. Yuma said. Issei's knees finally gave up, making him fall, sprawled out in his own pool of blood. He heard Yuma continue to speak. If you want to blame someone, then blame God for putting a sacred gear in you. Without even glancing back, she started to fly away using her black wings. He was in the ground, he can't even move. He was dying and his mind started to lose consciousness, but he could hear his heart beating, and it was continuing on, slowing down. Before he could lose consciousness, he saw a small red circle coming down from his pocket, becoming even more bigger. He saw someone coming out from the circle, a girl with a crimson red hair, the same crimson red as his blood. You're dying. Don't worry about that, I'll save you. Then you'll become mine in exchange. The crimson-haired girl spoke with sweetness on her tone. That was the last thing he heard before blacking out. I'm back here at this place. But it seems a different dream than the one before, Issei thought with wonder. Then he heard himself speak. We will continue with the mission, we will not save Rin. No, Kakashi. We need save Rin. She's our teammate. Issei saw a boy with a short spiky black hair with a blue jacket with an orange collar, wearing a headband with a swirling leaf and a pair of goggles with orange lenses that looks connected to his ear protectors, and he saw himself being younger than he was in his last dream. This must be a younger version of my dream then. Issei thought with curiosity in his mind. For the last time, Obito. We will not save Rin. This is an order from your superior. Kakashi was clearly angered at the childishness of his teammate. Missions should be done first for the sake of the village. His emotions were clearly getting in the way of the mission. Why I am saying those things? Why would I not save my teammate? Oi, even if this is a dream, I should not be like this kind of prick. Issei thought with a scowl marring on his face. I don't care about the mission anymore, Kakashi. Those that break the rules and regulations are scum. But those who abandon their comrades are even worse than scum. I'd rather be called scum than not being able to save Rin. Kakashi, I know what happened to your father. He saved his comrades even if it means failure of a mission. No matter what other people think about him, I believe the White Fang is a true hero. The boy named Obito spoke with clear conviction and resolve in his voice. You can continue this mission by yourself, but I'll save Rin on my own if you don't want to. Obito spoke before turning his back away from Kakashi to Rin's direction. What am I even doing? Kakashi, save your teammate. Issei could only growl in annoyance at his counterpart Kakashi for not even moving. Then he was in a different place after that scene. Issei saw himself saving Obito from an attacker right on time. It seems I'm still in the same dream, but it's in a different scene. Issei thought with curiosity. How was somehow he able to change dreams just like that? Kakashi, I know I would get to you somehow. Obito flashed a grin at Kakashi. So my dream counterpart decided to save Rin as well, phew. I thought my counterpart was a complete jerk, glad he is not. Yeah, you did. Thanks, Obito, for making me realize that my father was a hero. Issei heard himself. My therapy jutsu really works. Haha. Beat that Minato-sensei. Obito smiled widely at Kakashi. Kakashi could only think, therapy jutsu. What the hell? So the brat was saved by another brat. No matter, I'll kill the both of you know. The attacker spoke but Issei himself could not find the source of the voice. Then he was in a different place again after that one. Issei saw himself and Obito releasing a girl, most likely Rin from her restraints, but then a person appeared. I see. That idiot Tazuki was not even able to stop two brats. Well kids, you're out of luck now that I'm here. I'll bury you brats alive. Say goodbye each other. Doden. Iwayado Kuzushi. Earth release. Rock lodging destruction. The person did some strange hand signs, then Issei started to look around as he heard the cave started to rumble. After looking back to where that person was, he was gone. What the heck? Is that the same as the fire one I did in a dream before? Issei could only think with disbelief. Then the cave started to give in and started to fall on Kakashi, Obito and Rin. Obito, Rin, we need to run, now. Issei heard Kakashi speak and after that they started running with the collapsing cave at their backs. After a few seconds of running, they were able to see the exit. Issei suddenly felt being pushed away by someone only to see the half of Obito's body being crushed by a boulder. Issei only looked at Obito with shock for giving his own life to save Kakashi. No, Obito, we'll save you now, don't worry. Kakashi exclaimed in a tone of worry and regret. You can't save me, Kakashi. I can't even feel half of my body now. Obito said in a defeated voice. Issei felt tears running on his left cheek coming from one of his eye. Holy shit, I don't have my other eye anymore. Wait, that's not important. Obito's even more important than that. There must be some way. Obito, I'm not giving up on you now. Kakashi wanted to continue but before he could, he was stopped by Obito. Kakashi, I didn't have any gift on you when you became a Junin, right? Then I'll give my Sharingan to you as a present. Obito said with only Kakashi giving his reply. No, Obito, we will save you. Kakashi was interrupted by Obito. Damn it, Kakashi, you're running out of time, the cave is starting to give in. Then Obito's attention is turned to Rin. Rin, you can do medical jutsu, right? Seeing Rin nod, he continued. Take my remaining eye and replace Kakashi's injured one. Only to see Rin in tears while nodding. After Rin took Obito's eye, he spoke. Bakashi, I'm about to die, but I'll become your eye, and see the future with you. Also, protect Rin no matter what the cost. Please take this as a one-time request from me. Goodbye, Kakashi. Obito smiled happily at Issei's direction where Kakashi could only be seen with tears falling on his eye. Issei felt his mind waking up as he saw the sunlight entering from his window, only to feel tears on his eyes coming out. Shit, that really was a sad dream. Obito died and my counterpart wasn't even able to do anything. Issei thought sadly as he remembered Obito's words. He really cared for Rin, unlike me. Wait, did I just say me? Must have been my imagination. Still, to think that I'll see 3 different dreams. Maybe I need a psychologist or something like that. Issei thought before he continued. Nah, so bothersome. I'll just pass then. Maybe my porn will cheer me up from that sad dream. Issei thought, giggling perversely, but before Issei could even take a peek on his porn, his alarm started to ring, indicating that there's only 30 minutes left for school. Guess I should already take a leave now, I'll just take a look at the porn later. Issei thought, rushing since if he did not move, he'll be late for school. The dream where I died is still the most realistic, I wonder if it really happened, I'll ask around anyway. I did introduced Yuma-chan at many people. And I died in her hands. Issei thought sadly with curiosity. So, the date with Yuma-chan is just a dream, after all. Issei already talked to his two perverted friends since they were the first people who met Yuma-chan when he introduced her. Their expressions were so amusing, and then they cursed me for being lucky to have a girlfriend, and now they only think I was crazy. They said that they can't even remember her. Her photo and contact disappeared on my phone too. I tried calling the number since I remembered it, but there was no answer. I went to her address only to found an empty land. I also went to the school where she was studying, only to be told that Amano Yuma doesn't study there. Well shit, it must have been just a dream. I still don't have a girlfriend, how depressing. Issei thought depressingly with a sigh as he started to walk anywhere, only to found himself making his way towards the old school building. I was lost in my thoughts. I didn't even realize where I was walking to, He was interrupted on his thoughts when he felt someone looking at him, only to see a crimson-haired girl smiling at him from a window in the old school building. Rias Grimori, why are you looking at me like you're judging me or something? Issei stared at the crimson-haired beauty, only to shake his thoughts. Rias Grimori, a white-skinned woman with blue eyes in her late teens. She has a voluptuous figure and a crimson hair that reaches down to her thigh. A third-year foreign student studying here in Kuo Academy. She's also the president of the Occult Research Club, and she's one of the Kuo Academy's two great ladies. Nah, it should be nothing surprising, given my reputation for being a pervert in the school. I'm sure she's just judging me because I'm a pervert. Issei thought, only to be replaced with perverted ones. Those two beautiful mounds of opia is still a sight to behold. One of the greatest pairs I've ever seen. Issei grinned perversely, only to see Rias Grimori looking at her with an amused expression. Shit. Stop thinking too much perverted thoughts. It's unbecoming of me. Wait. Why is it unbecoming of me? I am a known pervert in the school anyway, so why would I bother about my reputation? Weird. Definitely some weird shit is happening to me right now. Issei thought with a confused expression while giving a short bow of respect before leaving Rias on her own thoughts. That's a miscalculation, I guess. He's not much of an idiot as it seems. Rias pondered on her thoughts as she recalled the events that led on Hyodo Issei's death. The group of fallen angels lurking in her territory gave her a perfect chance to snag Hyodo Issei to become her servant, and also knowing the fallen's intentions. Arabushu, you were expecting him to be an idiot then? Rias heard a reply as she looked towards the one who spoke, Himahima Akino. Himahima Akino, a young woman with a voluptuous figure around the same age as Rias. She has violet eyes and black hair tied in a long ponytail, reaching all the way down to her legs, and an orange ribbon keeping it in place. Of course, Akino. We observed him before for a long time, ever since Kaneko was able to sniff a dragon's scent on him. So we know that he's an idiot, yet what we observed on him now was a showing that he is somewhat aware of his situation. Rias gave her opinion on Akino. Well, just make sure to tell him about his situation before something happens, Bushu. Akino said, leaving a cup of tea for Rias before leaving. I know, Akino. I'll make sure to tell him before something bad happens. I care for my peerage after all, you know that. Rias replied, only to receive a smile from Akino before closing the door. After the class has ended, Issei was offered by his perverted friends to join them on their porn marathon. He only rejected them, saying that he has a lot to think about. It was dusk the moment Issei reached the place where he died in Yuma's hand. After a few minutes of looking for clues that Yuma really did exist, Issei did not find even a single one. She doesn't really exist, I guess. It was just a dream. Issei said with a defeated sigh, indicating that he gave up on finding clues about Yuma. But my senses suddenly became even better. I guess it could be said that my senses were enhanced. I only felt a change when it becomes night, it seems. My senses were not this good in the morning. Issei's muttering only stopped when he felt a dark presence creeping up behind him. Looking at his back, he saw a man wearing a black trench coat and a black hat with an eerie smile on his face. So, I found a stray that defected from its master. You'll meet your end here, stray. The man spoke while chuckling darkly. The man changed his form, giving him black wings. Then he started to form the same spear of light that was used to kill Issei. Then he threw the said spear at Issei. Shit. I need to dodge. Issei's thoughts were aligned to his instincts that were screaming for his survival. He rolled over the ground to dodge the incoming spear on his direction. Ho, so you were able to dodge that one. I guess I made it too easy for you to escape then. After that, he formed two spears of light again. Issei was only able to dodge one, but he was not able to dodge the other. The light of spear struck Issei's stomach, then Issei screamed in pain. It hurts, doesn't it? Issei only sweated bullets as he grit his teeth in pain. Light is poisonous to you devils after all. It hurts more than when you were human, right? The man sneered in mockery as he spoke the word devil. Devils, what is he talking about? Issei thought while thinking that he might die. The man started to form another spear, but he was stopped by a voice that echoed in the place. I would appreciate if you don't kill my servant, fallen angel San. Issei heard a female voice. Then, a red circle of complex writings started to form in the ground. Issei saw Rias Grimoire coming out of the circle, glaring at the one called Fallen Angel. Really? Fallen angels exist? What kind of a fantasy game am I? Issei thought in disbelief, but after recalling his past interactions with another fallen angel, Amano Yuma, he relented, gritting his teeth on pain and started to listen to their conversation. Crimson hair. Rias Grimoire, I presume. The sister of the Mao Lucifer. This really is your territory. The man spoke at Rias. Glaring at the man, Rias replied. If you know my name and that this is my territory, then why are you here? You should know that your kind are not welcomed in any devil territory. I was just taking a stroll, then look what I found, a stray devil. But with you appearing on his rescue, I guess he's not one. You should really keep your servants in a tight leash, someone might kill them, thinking that they are just mere strays. The man answered, still wearing that eerie grin in his face. I'll be sure to keep that in mind, but those who attack my servants will be killed as well. Rias retorted at the man. I see. My name is Danasik. Pray that we do not meet again, Rias Grimoire, for fate might not intervene next time we do so. The man named Danasik started to flap his wings, then fly away at the dark sky. Issei's consciousness started to become hazy after Rias and the fallen finished their conversation. I forgot that I was losing too much blood. Shit. I'm really going to die this time. Issei thought grimly as Rias Grimoire started to walk towards him. Don't worry, Issei. You won't die. I'll save you this time as well. Just remember that you're mine. Issei heard Rias, then he started to black out. Again. This time, Issei was in front of a large tomb with a blonde person and the girl named Rin. Rin started to sob as the rain was pouring down at them. He also saw the blonde man with tears leaking from his eyes and he felt tears on his cheeks as well. Rin suddenly started hyperventilating and the blonde man took notice. He grabbed Rin and carried her in bridal style before the man disappeared in a yellow flash. Issei felt that Kakashi had his other eye covered by the headband he wears. Kakashi then started to speak. Obito, why did you even save my life when you should have just saved yours? You didn't even have to care about mine. I treated the mission more important than yours and Rin's life. You should have just left me alone. Kakashi spoke regretfully without even caring about the pouring rain in his head. Issei was suddenly in a new place where this time, Rin was captured and Kakashi was pursuing her kidnappers. Issei saw that Kakashi was able to save Rin and get away from the enemy in the meantime, but the enemy did something to her. Kakashi-kun, kill me. Rin spoke with her sobs and tears coming out from her very person. What the hell? First it was Obito, then it was Rin. Kakashi's life is full of bad things happening to him all the time. Why can't he even have a good memory instead of a bad one? Issei growled in anger, not even noticing the fact that he started to mention his so-called dream as a memory. No, Rin, you'll be fine. I promise Obito that I'll protect you. Kakashi was interrupted by Rin. Kakashi-kun, the Sanbi is sealed in me. In less than a few minutes, the seal will break and the Sanbi will be unleashed in Konoha's direction. Nothing will be able to stop the Sanbi. Rin cried as she voiced her reasoning against Kakashi. Rin, Minato-sensei is a seal's master. He'll help you. We also have Kushina-ne and Jiraiya-sama, so you don't need to lose hope, Rin. We'll save you. Kakashi cried out his plea on Rin, but she just shook her head. Rin's body suddenly slumped to the ground and she suddenly screamed out in pain. Kakashi-kun, please kill me now. If you don't, the Sanbi will destroy Konoha. Please Kakashi-kun. Rin, I can't do it. You're the only one I have now. My mom, my dad, Obito. The people I care for are dead. I don't want you to die as well. Please just let us go to Sensei. He'll save you. Kakashi sobbed as his tears fell down on his cheeks. Then someone suddenly spoke. Well done, brat. Luckily for you, you were able to save her, but unluckily for you, we'll have to take her back. Issei saw a large group of enemies that ambushed Kakashi and Rin. Issei heard Kakashi growled in anger. You're not taking her back, I'll kill you bastards before you even touch her. Kakashi started to dash towards the enemy, then he thrust his hand coated with lightning at the enemy's stomach, screaming, Raikiri. Lightning cutter. Issei was shocked and horrified when he saw it was Rin who took the lightning thrust from Kakashi's hand. Kakashi himself was devastated when he saw Rin took the brunt of his attack, making him unconscious from the grief and sorrow of killing Rin. Issei knew that he was in a different place this time. He felt familiar in the surroundings of this room. He knows that it was Kakashi's room. He didn't know why, he just felt a familiarity with it. After walking for a couple of minutes, Kakashi smelled something dried, he didn't know what, so he just went where the smell is guiding him. He was suddenly in front of a slightly opened room. Kakashi proceeded to knock and speak. Dad, are you okay, there? I smell something funny coming to your room. After hearing no response, Kakashi continued knocking and asking 3 times. Issei knew that something bad was inside of the room in front of him, yet he cannot pry his eyes away. He felt that he needed to know what's inside of the room. He needed to face this fear with full focus. After no answer, Kakashi opened the door. After looking around the room, Issei saw a familiar man sprawled down on the ground holding a knife in his hands that was embedded in his stomach. Kakashi rushed towards the familiar man. Issei knew this man. This person is his father. Issei fell down on his bed and suddenly started screaming in pain as he held his head from the throbbing headache. He did not even notice that he was in that Ryusuke Mori was sleeping besides him, jolted awake from his scream. The influx of emotions he saw from Kakashi's memory made him receive a very strong aching pain throbbing in his head. Ryusuke, who was awaked by his scream, suddenly rushed at him saying, You'll be fine. Don't worry. What's the problem? My head. It feels like it's bursting out. Issei continued his screams non-stop as he continued to hold his head, gritting his teeth at the throbbing pain he's receiving. Ryusuke can only look at Issei with full of worry since she cannot do anything as of now to help him. She didn't know what to do with this kind of situation. I was lucky that I put some magic circles that can make a room soundproof. Ryusuke thought, still worried at Issei's condition. After a couple more screams from Issei, he started to breathe hard and calm down. Falling to slumber once again. Ryusuke laid Issei back in his bed in a relaxing position. She could only do this much, since she doesn't know what happened to him. She'll consult this with Akeno later. Issei could not see himself as he continued to swim in the sea of darkness. After a couple of minutes moving towards nowhere, he stumbled upon an unknown huge entity filled with darkness and death, talking to a man with a spiky silver hair that reached into the middle of his back that is tied into a ponytail. The man wears a weird uniform with a pair of gloves and a flak jacket. The entity started to speak. Hataki Sakumo, I don't know how you got to have a second chance to live your life, but since I was ordered by Kami herself, I'll do it. But knowing your personality, you might request something, so I'll entertain you. The silver-haired man named Sakumo started to speak. I guess you're right about that, Shinigami-sama. He continued. Before I make my choice, can you fulfill a simple request for me? I did say that I'll entertain you. So, go on, speak. The Shinigami urged Tsukumo to continue. I know that my son Hatake Kakashi is now dead, can you please show me every single one of his memories? Tsukumo made his plea in front of the Shinigami. Fine, I'll let you see it. The Shinigami started to move towards Tsukumo and pointed his forefinger at Tsukumo's head. Tsukumo started to see every single detail in Kakashi's life. His sadness, his grief, his sorrows, his regrets, his happiness and up to his death. Tsukumo spoke then. I've made my decision, Shinigami-sama. Please bring back Kakashi's life instead of mine. His voice filled with sadness, knowing that he left his child only to suffer after his death. I'm not sure about that. You see, Kami said that it was you who would be given the chance, not your child. But since you're such a piece of work, I'll ask her then. The Shinigami spoke with clear amusement in his voice. This human is really different than the others. People with that kind of personality are scarce in elemental nations after all. The Shinigami thought while waiting for Kami's answer. The Shinigami turned his attention towards Tsukumo who was waiting for Kami's verdict. He spoke, Kami has given me her answer. She decided to grant your request on several conditions. After seeing Tsukumo's expression he continued. First, he is currently inside of my stomach after performing the Shiki Fujin, dead demon consuming seal. I cannot just take him out of there since he already paid the price. Seeing Tsukumo nodded. In exchange of taking him out, I will take you there instead. You will never be able to see your wife if you will be stuck in my stomach for eternity. Are you willing to do that? I do, Shinigami-sama. I've caused enough grief for my child. Knowing that I could give him a second chance, I'll gladly do so. And my wife would only want Kakashi's life to be full of happiness. Tsukumo spoke with resolve in his tone. I see. Then second, he will be reborn as someone else, he will not regain his memories easily. He will only regain them pieces by pieces when he is approaching an immense danger. If he is not approached by any danger, there is a chance that he will not regain his memories. Is that fine with you? It is, Shinigami-sama. Third, he will also gain his abilities pieces by pieces. And before you ask, yes, he will be reborn in a dimension where there are constant fighting that he might get involved. Are you willing to risk your child for that new world? I'm reluctant to say this, but yes. Shinigami-sama. I know that Kakashi's strong. So he'll be able to survive the challenges that will come on his way. I see. Then, in assurance of the condition, I will now send his soul in the dimension. He will not be immediately reborn. His soul will needs to be comfortable in the new dimension first. So before you request, I will not be able to show you even his form as a baby. I understand, Shinigami-sama. You should take my soul now as the exchange of the deal. But before you do that, can you grant me one more request? Tsukumo asked. I already told you that I'll entertain you, as long as it's not related to lives and souls of any people, even your wife. Thank you Shinigami-sama. Then, please let me and my wife see Kakashi's life after his death comes. Granted. Now, enough bickering. You don't have any requests now, do you? Tsukumo only gave a smile and a simple nod, then he heard the Shinigami speak. Then, I'll take your soul right now in exchange of his. Last but not the least I can do for you, Tsukumo, for being a friend. I'll let him see this exchange so that he'll know how much you love him. Thanks a lot. After saying that, the Shinigami took Tsukumo's soul and placed it in his stomach. Issei was in tears at the moment the memory is over. He really was Hatake Kakashi. And the very person Kakashi hated for leaving him alone before Obito set him straight was willing to sacrifice his very own soul just so that Kakashi could live on. His father. Then, he was assaulted by his past memories and from his birth up to his death. After sorting his memories, Kakashi was quite thankful that he was attacked by Amano Yuma, even if she attacked him, because that attack was the trigger for his past memories to be unlocked. Kakashi groaned as soon as he gained consciousness. And his first thoughts was, Dad was really a hero, Obito was right. I'm really thankful for that, Dad, I love you too. But I didn't expect you to be friends with the Shinigami. Surprising. As soon as he started to look around his room, he smelled something sweet. After blinking his eyes open, he saw a crimson-haired woman sleeping beside him in his bed. To be exact, it was Rias Grimori. What? Why is Grimori-san here? And why is she? Did I finally get laid with a beauty like her? Kakashi giggled perversely at the thoughts of banging a beautiful woman. Oh, is it morning already? Kakashi saw Rias Grimori stretched her hands up in the air as she yawned cutely while showing her two beautiful mounds of jiggling. If Rin was here now, I'm sure she'll just chastise me for being perverted, and if Obito was here, he'll just say, how far the mighty and stoic genius Hitaki Kakashi has fallen. I'm sure he'll even exaggerate things even more further. Kakashi thought with a nostalgic smile on his face. Yes, it is Grimori-san. And before that, why are you here in my bed? Did I get laid this time? Kakashi asked, filled with curiosity and wonder. Nope, you didn't. Don't worry. You're still a virgin. Rias chided him where Kakashi just comically cried anime tears. Rias' sweat dropped at the display, then remembering Issei's sudden screams made her ask about his condition. By the way, are you alright now? You were in a lot of pain last night when you suddenly woke up. Ah, don't worry about that, Grimori-san. The headache's gone now. No worries needed. Kakashi replied to her in a cheerful and relaxed tone. Then he continued, if you're not here because I got laid, then what are you doing here? Rias was still doubtful of Kakashi's reassurance, nevertheless, she quickly shook those thoughts, then she replied. Ah, about that, you see. You were fatally wounded last night. Do you remember? Rias asked, waiting for his reply. Ah, yes I did. What does that have to do with you in my bed? Well, I was here because I was healing you last night. Rias explained, and before she could continue, Kakashi interrupted her. If you just healed me, then you didn't have to sleep with me, right? Her response was a yawn, making her jiggle a little bit. Then she spoke. Your wounds were fatal, so for my healing to work, I needed to hold your body while being. Kakashi's reply was only a perverse giggling, but was stopped as Rias did a fake cough before continuing. We are getting out of the subject, but I need to explain to you two things. First of all, when you were on a date with the fallen angel Amano Yuma, you died when she threw a spear of light at you. After that, the flyer you received was actually a devil magic circle and it summoned me. She then revealed a flyer that looks like the one Kakashi received when he was on his date. She continued, seeing you dying, I did what I could and revived you, and the other thing is, right now, Hyodo Issei is a devil and you are now mine. Kakashi could only gape like a fish at what he heard. Then he sighed ruefully. First, I lived to fight a war then died. Second, I lived to go to a date then died. And third, I lived to become a devil and a servant. Why did Dad have to make my life harder? But I'm not complaining anyway. Kakashi and Rias were walking on their way towards Kuo Academy entrance when Rias explained how Kakashi became her servant devil. His situation of being a sacred gear wielder was the reason he was being attacked after all. Amidst the explanation about his situation, Kakashi was able to feel the murderous glares and curses of the whole student body against him. Why is that pervert being near Rias-sama? Shrieked by a fangirl. Damn it, pervert. Why are you walking side by side with Rias Uho-sama? It should be used decent gentlemen, not like scum like you. Screamed by a crying fanboy. Kakashi was starting to regret his father's decision of him living in this dimension. Wherever I go, even after being reborn, fangirls and fanboys, the most bane existences to have ever lived, are still haunting me. Is there no escape from them? Kakashi just screamed his frustrations in his mind. Returning his attention towards Rias, who was walking beside him, he asked. So, I have a sacred gear, I am now a devil, and because you revived me with your evil pieces I am now your servant. Kakashi just sighed after saying those words. He didn't really know whether to be angry that he was just alive to be a mere servant or happy that he was given another chance. Rias was perplexed at Kakashi's change of behavior, especially the loss of his idiocy, but she just shook those thoughts since she'll just ask about his change later on. She just nodded at Kakashi's question, then she replied, "That's right. I know that you still have doubts on being my servant, but unlike most devil households, the Grimoire clan treats their servant with love and care. But we should go to school before we're late. We'll continue this conversation later on. I'll send someone for you after class." "I see. Then Grimoire Senpai, I still have a couple of questions I wanted to ask, but since you want to cut this conversation, I'll see you later on then." "Yane." Kakashi just gave a two-fingered salute, then he started to turn his direction towards his classroom. After arriving at the classroom, Kakashi felt a weak killing intent directed towards him. Sensing an attack coming from behind, he dodged, and then he retaliated with a punch in return. "Oh, it was just these two," he mentally thought as they spoke with disbelief and anger in their voices. "Ouch. Issei, when did you know how to fight?" the bald head commented. "Yeah, we know that you only have time for watching porn and masturbating," the nerdy guy with glasses said. Ignoring the somehow rude and shameful comment, Kakashi spoke. "Well, Matsuda, Motohama. It's Bako. Wait, why did you two attack me?" Forgetting about their earlier question, they just screamed at him. "Bastard. Why were you walking with Rias-sama this morning?" They spoke in unison. Every single one of the bystanders suddenly turned their attention towards Kakashi. Before Kakashi could even reply, the school bell started to ring. "Lucky save. I don't want to be mobbed by the whole student body," he thought as he replied. "We have to go class right now, so I'm not answering your question," Kakashi replied in a tone that can only be thought as cynical. "That damn bastard betrayed us. After betraying us, he just brushed us off." The bald-headed one talked towards the one with the glasses. "Yeah, he thinks that after walking with Rias-senpai, we're not worth his time anymore. The bastard. I have a plan so that we could get our revenge on him later on." They started whispering to each other and Kakashi just left the two on their own conversation after sitting in his own seat. Scene break. After the class ended, Kakashi was approached by his two perverted friends. They were wearing smiles like they forgive him or something. "I wonder what are they planning?" Kakashi thought in confusion. "Well, Issei, we forgive you for your betrayal against us. We just don't want you to do it again," the bald-headed one said. "What betrayal? These morons are misunderstanding too much." Kakashi just shook his head at their misconceptions. "Yeah, we forgive you, Issei. We just want you to come with us instead so that we could watch porn," the nerdy one continued. The other people looked disturbed and the girls just looked at Kakashi and his friends in disgust. Kakashi knew he was a pervert. He didn't deny that much, but he was really shocked at his reputation as a pervert. His reputation in this dimension was even a lot worse than his reputation in the elemental nations. The people could only look at them with disgust for being open about their interests, but Kakashi did something no one in the classroom would expect. "Did you say something?" Kakashi replied in a nonchalant tone, placing his hand near his ear, mocking his two friends who could only stare at him in shock like he became a different person. The whole classroom just looked at Kakashi in devastated shock and utter disbelief. The most perverted one out of the trio just rejected watching porn. Even the teacher who just announced the class has ended could only stare wide-eyed at Kakashi. The classroom was silent, a single drop of pin can easily echo in the room. Even Kiba Yudo, who was in front of the classroom's door, was ignored. Kiba himself was in a confused state. He knew the reputation of Hyodo Issei, the most perverted student in Kuo. Returning on his thoughts, Kiba Yudo just walked towards Kakashi. It was like the whole room was in a suspended animation. The whole room's occupants were just staring at Kakashi. They were not even caring about the fact that Kiba was walking inside the classroom, heading at Kakashi's direction. When he reached Kakashi, he spoke. "Hello there, Hyodo Issei-san. My Bushu, Ryusgramori sent me to get you. Kiba smiled that can only be described as Bishonen. Kakashi just looked at Kiba with a judging gaze. I see. So it was Kiba Yudo who was sent to get me then. I wonder if this guy is also a devil. I can feel his hidden hatred. At least, it's not as worse as Sasuke's. That brat's hatred is so strong an ordinary civilian would have had immediately faint after feeling it. Thankfully, he's already gone. Kiba Yudo, a second-year student in Kuo Academy, belonging in the Occult Research Club. He is adored by many female students and is hated by most of the male student body. He has short blonde hair and gray eyes with a mole under his left eye. After finishing his judgment on Kiba, he spoke. Is that so? Let's get going then. Kakashi just stood up, leaving the shocked students on their thoughts. After this talk, I'll try to practice any of the abilities I can still use. From what the Shinigami said, I am to regain them after all. After Kakashi left, his two friends returned on their thoughts and cursed him. That damn bastard, he really betrayed us. The two perverts spoke in perfect unison while crying about their friend's betrayal. Scene break. Kakashi realized that the direction they were heading to was the last place where he saw Ryusgramori before, the old school building. After bypassing a couple more doors inside the old building, he looked around at the room where Kiba Yudo led him to. Welcome, Hyodo-san. This is the Occult Research Club. Kiba spoke in the dimly lit room where he led Kakashi to. Kakashi just gave a nod of acknowledgement before looking around the room. The club room is a wood-paneled room with Victorian-style couches and chairs along the wall. Isn't this way too extravagant for a simple club room? Kakashi also saw a large circle with complex writing, the same as the one that he emerged from his pocket when he was attacked. Looking at the couch, he saw a petite girl eating sweets and cookies. Tuju Kaneko, I feel something different from you, it feels feline. Tuju Kaneko, a petite first-year student in Kuo Academy who have white hair and hazel eyes, she also belongs to the Occult Research Club as well. She has two bangs going past her shoulders and several loose bangs over her forehead. Kakashi's thinking stopped when she saw the petite girl glaring at him while holding the box of cookies and sweets. I won't eat those, don't worry. Kakashi said in a sincere tone as he reached out his hand for a handshake. Nodding reluctantly, the petite girl grabbed it and introduced herself. Tuju Kaneko, nice to meet you. Ah, mine's I mean Hyodo Issei. She looked at Issei suspiciously, then he just continued. Nice to meet you too, Chibi-chan. The moment he said that, the suspicious look she had on Kakashi turned into scowl. Kakashi just shrugged it off. Phew, that was close. I almost introduced myself as Kakashi. I still need to find a solution about my name. Whether I would continue to use Hyodo Issei or change it to Hataki Kakashi. Kakashi's thoughts were interrupted as soon as he heard another voice. Era. Don't bully our Kaneko-chan. Hyodo-kun. Kakashi turned around to see a girl with black hair and a long ponytail. Oh, it's the vice president of Occult Research Club, Himehime Akino. Why do I feel something akin to hatred in her? At least it's not as worse like the hatred Kiba Yudo holds. One brat wanting revenge is too much for me. Kakashi sighed in defeat as he reached out his hand in the same manner as he did earlier. Nice to meet you, Himehime-san. The name's Hyodo Issei. Era. Nice to meet you to Hyodo Issei-kun. When I heard about your reputation, I was under the impression that you're a pervert, but that hardly seems the case here. She questioned as she looked at me in curiosity. Kiba and Kaneko just looked at Kakashi in wonder as well. Well, reputation gained from bickering of students tends to be too exaggerated. You shouldn't judge a person based on his reputation alone. Kakashi replied in an overly nonchalant tone. He's not showing any tendencies of being a pervert, and he's not even acting idiotically. Is his change of a devil as so much it would affect even his whole person? Akino thought, thinking that they need to observe Kakashi for their changes. I'll keep your word in mind. A pity that I wouldn't have another person I can punish for being a bad boy. She smiled sweetly at Kakashi, who was shivering nervously in Akino's look. Shit. They also have an Anko here as well. Just wait for Bushu to appear. She's taking a shower right now over there. She pointed towards a room where sounds of water flowing can be heard. She's taking a shower. Oh, boy. This is gold. I wish Jiraiya-sama were here so that he could add this on his research. Kakashi just giggled perversely at the room of the door where the sounds can be heard. Pervert. The petite girl chided Kakashi as Akino just smiled. So, he still have his perverted issues. I guess there wasn't much change then. Akino concluded, then Rias's voice was heard. I see that you've brought Hyodo Issei-kun here. Good job, Yuto. I'll talk to you Hyodo Issei-kun after I've finished changing. Just wait for a while. Kakashi just answered a simple yes as he was offered by Akino's tea. After waiting for a couple of minutes, Rias Grimori appeared, wearing her standard Kuo Academy uniform. So, Hyodo Issei-kun, can I call you Eyes? Kakashi just gave a nod as she continued. You see, the whole occult research club is just a front cover. Every single person here including you is a devil. She spoke clearly. Kakashi just looked at the whole club with suspicion. After what happened to me, I'm guessing I should believe you. But I want another proof besides your word. Kakashi stated, looking at them. They just moved their shoulders a little. Then black wings that looks like of a bat appeared at their backs. You guys have bat wings, guessing that I'm a devil, I also have one. Don't I? Kakashi asked rhetorically while feeling his back, suddenly feeling a set of wings sprout from his back. Now that I believe your words, can you explain to me the whole situation? Kakashi asked, wondering about his whole situation. You are rather taking this well, Eyes. It was a statement, not a question. Kakashi just scratched the back of his head. Well, I've already seen someone create black flames that cannot be extinguished no matter what, and it would continuously burn for 7 days and 7 nights. That someone was also able to create gigantic humanoid being using only his eyes, and someone related to him was able to call 2 fucking meteors, with the latter being even bigger than the former. So no, nothing would surprise me anymore. Kakashi retorted, not even bothering to hide the sarcasm he had in his voice. Rias and her group just looked at Kakashi like he was crazy. What? They said in perfect unison while giving a shot of incredulous stare at Kakashi. Don't worry about that. Can you just continue on your explanation? Kakashi just dismissed their weird stares on him. Rias, still perturbed by what Kakashi said, just shrugged it off and started to explain about the Great War that happened over 1,000 years ago that led the 3 factions having a ceasefire. She did explain a little bit about the clans in the Devil Society. She also explained about the evil piece's great value that was used to reincarnate humans into devils. Kakashi just kept quiet while Rias explained the whole situation for him. After a few minutes of waiting for Kakashi to take in the information she had given, she heard Kakashi spoke a question. So, I'm a devil servant that is under the Grimori household then? After seeing Rias nod, Kakashi just thought about the whole situation and decided to stop thinking too much about it. No matter what I do, all I can do is to accept my situation. I don't want to die anyway, and if I were to reject, I will be branded as an exile or something of the like. After that, you will send others after my head. Kakashi just gave a tired sigh when Rias noticed him saying about being an exile. You're right about being exiled, but the proper term is called a stray. But how did you know? Rias was really curious on how Kakashi knew about becoming a stray if they were to leave their master without permission. You did explain the importance of the clans. Of course any clan would want to kill anyone that would bring shame and trouble in it. Kakashi gave her a, that should be obvious type of look. He really is different from what we observed over the past months. I wonder if it was because of becoming a devil in the process. He's even smarter now, Rias thought. Then she added another statement. Don't worry about becoming a servant. I won't request you to do any immoral actions or something of the like. You should also know that you have a chance to become a high-class devil. These devils will receive a set of evil pieces that can be used to give you a peerage as well. How do I become a high-class devil? You are right now a low-class devil, after that you become a high-class devil, after that is the highest class a devil can get, the ultimate class devil. Only a number of people have become an ultimate class before. To become a high-class devil, the easiest way is to fulfill many contracts that you receive from countless humans that want any wish that they have. That would take too long. Rias-san, what would be the fastest way to become one then? The fastest way is your participation and achievements in war. But right now, the three factions are in a ceasefire. So that's not possible. Rias stated at Kakashi, who was thinking of becoming a high-class devil as soon as possible. She added another question. Do you still have any questions? In which he replied, yes, I do. What do devils do anyway? Do they manipulate the human mind and do they really eat souls? They don't. All we devils do now is to fulfill the wishes of other people, like what I told you earlier. We grant them their wishes. They call us, then they complete the contract by giving us something in return. Quote. Now, does that mean devils do those before? No matter. Last question please. Kakashi then was urged by Rias to continue. How do I activate the sacred gear? He was really curious about this one especially. It's like being a Jinchuriki. Based on what I hear, I can say that this abilities come from the being sealed in the sacred gear. It's not like a healing sacred gear could just heal someone, it would need a source. I wonder what kind of being is sealed in mine. Well, think of a strong person that you know and imitate that person's pose or something. Rias said, watching Kakashi just stand. Then he held out his left hand like it's holding a small ball. Rasengan. Spiraling sphere. Kakashi spoke, then a blue sphere of energy started to form in his hand. Before the ball was complete, it completely dispersed and the energy spread in the room. His hand was replaced by red claw-shaped gauntlet with yellow accents and green inscriptions. The whole group was looking at Kakashi in curiosity. They were curious about the blue sphere of energy, but they were staring at Kakashi's hand, which became a red-shaped gauntlet. Kaneko herself was looking at Kakashi, trying to find a certain expression on him. He used chakra. That was just pure chakra. Humans can't use chakra. How is that possible? She was about to ask him about the sphere when he spoke. So, this is my sacred gear, huh? Kakashi moving the gauntlet while looking at it in wonder of what it can do. The gauntlet's designs looks like a miniature arm of a dragon. So most likely I have a dragon sealed in my arm. I guess I just need to will it to disappear. Concentrating a little, the gauntlet soon disappeared and his hand returned. Bushu, you were right after all. Kaneko did smell a dragon scent in him. Kiba spoke at her Bushu, where she just smiled back at Kakashi. Yeah, Yuto. He really did have the one of the 13 Longinus, the boosted gear. My sacred gear is called as boosted gear. What does it do, then? Kakashi asked, wanting to try its abilities as soon as possible. We don't know its full abilities. One of the few things known in its abilities is to boost the user's power every 10 seconds. It is rumored that once it has enough boosts, you can kill God. Akino replied at him, making him look at the sacred gear wide-eyed. If we had this power during the war, we might have had better chances in winning it. Damn it, a new life and new ability, yet I don't even know about the conclusion of the war. Kakashi thought sadly as he remembered the war that Madara started. I see. Then you have answered all of my questions. When do I start on handing flyers to others? And can I go home after that? Kakashi inquired, wanting to finish his job as a devil so he could test the boosted gear's ability. You can start now if you want. We have numerous flyers here, just take 2 stacks. After that you're free to go home. She pointed at the cabinet that contains the flyers. Kakashi was about to take off and then distribute the flyers, but he was stopped by Rias. Eyes, one last thing, call me Bushu from now on. And tomorrow is Sunday, there will be no classes. I expect you to come here just outside the old school building tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. Did you say something? Kakashi just shrugged off what Rias said, then took off before Rias could even give a reply. Rias grew a tick mark at the disrespect she received from Kakashi. The nerve, but at least the talk has gone well than I thought. Though, I didn't expect him to be smart, hell I didn't even expect him to be observant at all. She just sighed as Akino replied. You're right about that Bushu. I thought he would just be a pervert, but he seems like he hid it well enough. Akino said while Kuniko approached the both of them before speaking. Bushu. He can use chakra. I don't know how, but the blue sphere he showed earlier was pure chakra. Kuniko stated, making Rias, Akino and Kiba wide-eyed at the proclamation. The group could only think about the secrets Kakashi still have hidden from them. After all, the sudden change of his personality was a huge thing itself. Then he still has many secrets that he had not shown to anyone. Being able to use chakra, he really is an enigma. Though, hopefully my chances with him in my peerage will let me win against Razor in the future. Knowing my parents, they'll just shove a rating game at me so that I would think I have a chance of winning. Rias thought as her mind started to wander around her chances of winning against Razor in the future. Scene break. After giving out the 2 stacks of flyers, he went home to his apartment and then he took a shower. Grabbing his clothes, he looked at his reflection. His short brown hair with white streaks was still wet from the shower. His body is toned well enough, but looking at it, he realized that he needs to be more fit. No amount of training is enough after all. Now, I just need to find a good place where I can test the boosted gear and see if I could still use most of my abilities. Looking around the town for about an hour, he found a pathway that leads to an open field with little trees inside a forest. Okay then, I'll start with a simple one. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow clone technique. A clone appeared at his side after a puff of smoke. Good. My information gathering will still be as good as before. Then he bit his thumb, allowing blood to flow out of it. Kuchio's no Jutsu. Summoning technique. Only a poof of smoke appeared. Too bad I can't summon my Nin-Ken. I would love to have Pakun here. Well, no harm in trying. After that he tried most of his basic jutsus like Kawarimi no Jutsu, body replacement technique, Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique. Good. Both of them are usable. My chakra is now at mid-cage reserves, most likely because of becoming a devil. He thought with a delightful expression. Now, I won't have chakra exhaustion like most of the times. I won't know about my genjutsu unless I test it on someone. Due to the lack of this body's training, my taijutsu can only go on against mid-chunin. My kenjutsu can only go against high chunin. Since my current body doesn't have enough muscle memory, I can only compensate with my skills. I guess I should move on my ninjutsus. Moving to his elemental repertoire, he saw that most of his water, earth, wind, and fire jutsus were still accessible. He put some chakra in his eyes. Damn, I was only able to have an enhanced vision. I thought that I would regain the Sharingan copy wheel eye, since the Shinigami said that I would get back my abilities. But seeing that it's not really mine, it can't really be helped though. Kakashi sighed since he lost one of his main techniques. I could still feel my lightning chakra coursing in my tenketsu points. I'll try opening the gates. Kaiman, Kai, gate of opening, release. Human, Kai, gate of healing, release. Seeing that he could open the gates, he stopped using it. Now, all I have to try are my lightning jutsus and the boosted gear. Boosted gear. After speaking that, the red gauntlet appeared in Kakashi's left hand. Boost. Kakashi could feel the power coursing throughout his body. The power coursing inside of my body is incredible. Though, my body can't handle any boosts more than 5 times. It seems that training my body will let me handle the boosts. I'll start as soon as possible. Kakashi thought with the intent of training, but not to the point like Guy. Boost. Even more power flowed inside of Kakashi's body. He could feel his strength have gone up to low cage just from 2 boosts. If he were able to handle many boosts, then he would have strength enough to match the Sandame and he will still be able to go on. The strength that the boosted gear could give is limitless. Kakashi thought. I really need to train my body if I want to handle the boosts of the boosted gear. I'll try on using my lightning jutsus. Chidori. Thousand Birds. Kakashi immediately created the downgraded version of his signature move. As Kakashi started to run, the drawbacks of the technique were starting to kick in. Damn, I won't even be able to use my Chidori and my Reikiri lightning cutter. Though, the tunnel vision during my Chidori was less than normal. Only the Sharingan can lessen the tunnel vision of the Chidori. Does this mean that I can gain the Sharingan? I'm not sure about it, but it's better to hope. He was stopped of his thoughts when the gauntlet started to double his power again. Boost. This is just the third boost, yet my body feels strong enough to take on 2 Akatsuki members. This is unreal. I can see why this sacred gear can kill God. Kakashi thought in awe of the abilities of the boosted gear. I'll just try another technique with the assistance of the boosted gear then. Raiden. Shiden. Lightning release. Purple electricity. A very huge stream of purple electricity was released from Kakashi's right hand as he pointed it towards the couple of trees several meters away from him. The lightning surged through many trees in the forest before the purple lightning dissipate, leaving the destruction of many the trees in its path while burning. The fire caused by his lightning spread throughout the forest, making a forest fire. Kakashi was in a state of shock at the destruction his purple lightning caused. Kami, I'm leaving here, he shouted in panic as he started to leave the vicinity, leaving no evidence as for who was there. Scene break. Kakashi was not thinking of anything as he dashed towards his apartment. He was tired by the time he reached his apartment door. After opening and locking his door, he immediately bolted on his bedroom, then he let his body fall to the bed. So tired, for my body to be this low in stamina, I need to toughen up this body. Still, I didn't expect that much destruction from Shiden. The jutsu was just a mid-A rank jutsu. For it to become an S rank jutsu on a scale like Naruto's Futon, Rasenshuriken, Wind Release, Spiraling Shuriken. The boosted gear really is fearsome, was the last thing Kakashi thought before his mind started to lose consciousness. My host this time is an interesting one. I wonder if you would be strong enough to face the white one when the time comes. The voice coming from Kakashi's left hand chuckled before it disappeared. Scene break. I hope he has a good reason for being late. Arg, it's almost 3 hours yet he's not even here. The nerve. Ria stomped her foot in the ground, angry because Kakashi was still not making his appearance. Era. Bushu. I know that he's late, but losing it on your new servant. It appears you're losing your touch. Akano commented with amusement on her voice. Akano. Now is not the time for jokes. If he doesn't appear here in a minute, I'll shove my power of destruction down to his. Rias exclaimed. Such vulgar words, Bushu. You're turning into a bad girl now. Do you want me to punish you? Akano smiled. Her voice was filled in a sultry tone. Shut it, Akano. Rias was interrupted by Kiba, who was watching in the sidelines along with Kaneko, who was eating. Bushu, relax. I'm sure he has a good reason for being late. Yuto, it doesn't matter whether he's late or not. All I want right now is for him to appear. I'm tired of enough waiting. The redhead screamed. After that sentence, in a swirl of leaves, Kakashi appeared. He gave an eye smile as he approached the group. Yo. He gave a 2-fingered salute, then Rias shrieked at him. You're late. So much like Kushina ne. Fiery and short-tempered. Kakashi thought. Well, you see, while I was walking towards the school, I saw an old lady who was carrying a lot of bags. I thought that she needed help, so I helped her. I didn't know that she lived near the mountains. So after helping her, a black cat crossed my path. I took a shower to wash off the bad luck, and after that I got lost in the road of life. That's why it took me so long to get here. Kakashi said rather seriously. The whole group just sweat dropped at his lame excuse, besides Rias, who screamed at him. You liar. Don't be mad, I'm only 3 hours late. Look, it's not even 3 hours yet. It's less than 3 hours. That's good enough, right? And a black cat really crossed my path. It's the truth. Kakashi started whimpering when he saw Rias approaching him with a black aura surrounding her. Cracking her knuckles as then she started to grab him then proceeded to beat him up. Gah! Save me! Kakashi screamed in pain as Rias continued on beating him up. Unknown to them, a black cat was watching their antics before leaving. The situation was ridiculous. No other word can be used to explain the current situation. Kaneko was buried in the earth, leaving only her head that was visible. Even though she is a rook, she was not able to muster any strength at all. Her joints, arms, legs were bound to the very earth itself. Her normal stoic expression was not even there. Her expression was with the red cheeks on her face. She was looking at her king. One could see on her face that she was blushing furiously. Kiba himself was down in the ground, sitting in the ground while regulating his breathing from the exhaustion. His expression was one of disbelief. He was looking at the one they were supposed to be gauging. He could not believe the absurdity of the situation. He had the decency to look away from his king who was sprawled on the ground. Akeno was laughing perversely while holding her stomach even when her magic reserves were drained to its last drop. She was laid down in the ground, exhausted while looking at her king. Her expression was that of a masochist. She was blushing at the thoughts of powerful technique to be used on her. Even though she was a sadist, she was quite perked up in the idea of her Kohai's technique being used on her. She was going to tease her king. She won't let her forget what has happened here. Rias, who was angry and furious at her servant earlier, was now crying because of the humiliation and shame that was brought by her servant. She was sobbing and wailing. Her face is filled with flowing tears on her cheeks with her face so red just like her hair. She was sprawled in the ground. Any person would only give her looks of pity if they would have seen what had happened earlier. She was crying, especially since her best friend was only giving her looks of pity. She broke down crying even further when the one to blame for the situation was just reading his book. It was like the perpetrator doesn't even care about what happened at all. The perpetrator himself, Kakashi, who was breathing quite raggedly, it was obvious that he was exhausted as well. He fought 4 devils with their own strengths and specialties. A strong but a little bit slow taijutsu fighter, a very agile kenjutsu user, a magic specialist, and his master herself who had something quite the same as a Kekkei Genkai, bloodline limit boy that was scary, the ability to annihilate anything. Sheesh, that's nothing but a cheat ability. But after using his famed technique that made even the famed Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Namikaze Naruto, curled in fear, he was proud of his work, but after that he just returned reading his book before asking, I guess that testing my abilities is over, can I go home now? 1 hour ago, Rias grinned at satisfaction in beating up Kakashi for being late. After all, why shouldn't she? She wasted 3 hours just for waiting the new servant to come. She was supposed to gauge and train his new servant for a little while, an hour or 2 before going to have tea with Sona. Yet, her new servant makes her lose her time. After losing some steam, she started grinning at satisfaction for beating up her servant. She called Sona Citri, her best friend, to watch her gauge and train her new servant before going to tea. Kakashi was reading his book, a manga he found in the bookstore he went to earlier. The title was To Love Ru, a story about a boy who apparently always have unexpected accidents with any girls he bumped into. While it was not on the same level as Jiraiya's Ika Ika, there was no better alternative than it. He was reading his book when he was called by his still angry master, Rias Grimori. Eyes, apologize for wasting my time at Sona. Rias spoke. Her annoyance at him was still strong. He could practically see the tick marks covering her head. The one I would be apologizing to was not even the one that was inconvenienced because I was late. He looked at the person named Sona. Shitori Sauna, the strict student council president of Kuo Academy. She wears glasses with black hair that was cut in a short bob cut and violet eyes. The strict ice queen type of president. Shitori Sauna. She didn't mention anything about her being a devil, but she did mention some of the clans in the Devil Society. Ah, that's right, the Citri clan. Shitori Sona, Citri Sona. Wow. Talk about being subtle. Kakashi was barely able to let his mouth run off. He was glad that he was somehow able to control himself from speaking. He was already messing with one heiress, he didn't want to add another. Kakashi just chuckled sheepishly before scratching his head. Shitori-san, or should I call you Kaichu? I apologize for helping an old lady and getting lost in the road of life. After he spoke that, Akino couldn't stop herself, she laughed loud enough before it turned into giggles. Kiba just smiled and even Kaniko's lips were twitching upwards from the sudden remark. The person he apologized to, Sona, was looking at him in amused expression. Though, Rias was a different story. She was practically oozing her power of destruction as her aura before even more tick marks began to form in her head. Kakashi began to sweat nervously as he could feel the sudden change of the temperature. But before things could get out of hand, Sona spoke. Is that so? Then apology accepted. She stated mirthfully. Her stoic expression never changed, but one could easily see that she was enjoying that fact that Kakashi was annoying the hell out of Rias. Rias, who was glaring at Kakashi before, now snarled at Sona because of the unexpected words spoken through her mouth. Sona, you're enjoying this, aren't you? She was now scowling furiously at Kakashi with different thoughts of punishing her cheeky servant. I'm afraid you're mistaken about that, Rias. He apologized and I accepted. That's what you wanted, right? She spoke as a tiny smile formed through her lips. Rias was fuming inside, her annoyance at Kakashi never dissipated at the slightest. Kakashi was just smiling internally for being saved a time. Before Rias could even speak, Sona interrupted her. Besides, we were supposed to be gauging your servant's capabilities, right? We've already wasted enough time as it is. We should start now. And by the way, Hyodo-kun, call me Kaichu. Kakashi just nodded at her. She growled in annoyance before relenting. Fine, we should finish this as soon as possible. She pointed at Kakashi, but don't think you're out of this, eyes. After this, we're going to be talking about manners. Your manners, she stated in annoyance as she stomped her foot in the ground. Ma, you should relax, Rias-san. You're going to have white hair sooner than you thought if you don't find a way to relieve your stress. Kakashi said as he went back to reading his book. Rias, who finally relented, suddenly grew even more annoyed at Kakashi's remark. Akino, seeing that Kakashi was finished at annoying the hell out of Rias, decided to speak. Bushu, we should start on gauging his abilities, as soon as we're finished, the better. Rias just gave a defeated expression and sighed tiredly. She didn't even try to get back at Kakashi anymore. We should move at the woods behind the old school building. There is an open space over there good enough for gauging Hyodo-kun's ability. Akino then walked towards the direction behind the old school building. Sona and Rias followed after her. The former's expression returned stoic and the latter's expression just gave a tired one. Kakashi just followed while reading his book, and behind him, Kaniko and Kiba started walking as well. They arrived in an open field surrounded by numerous trees and a couple of bushes. Kakashi, who was in his own world reading his book, his expression showed grimaced, having remembered that he burned the whole forest last night because of his technique. The others were able to notice his expression, decided to ask him about what happened. Hyodo-san, what happened? Kiba, who was behind Kakashi, was the first one to notice his expression, decided to be the one who asked about his thoughts. Kakashi was sweating bullets at the somewhat worried but questioning stares the group was giving him. Don't worry about it, nothing happened. Nothing big happened. Kakashi mentally cursed as he accidentally slipped from his words that something actually happened. Sona, the most intelligent one in the group, came upon a conclusion, decided to interrogate him. You wouldn't happen to know something regarding the burned forest near the mountains last night? She goaded him to speak with a questioning gaze. Kakashi panicked internally but gave an unnoticeable small sigh of relief for being able to hide his nervousness. No. Why would I be the one to burn the forest last night? As far as I remember, I was distributing the flyers last night in the neighborhood the time that the fire happened. Really? She stared at him darkly, looking for any noticeable movement that can be discerned as lying. Kakashi just remained composed while mentally sweating. He wasn't an ex-Anbu for nothing after all. Is that so? I guess I was wrong then. From what I've heard from Rias, you just became a devil yesterday who apparently asked questions about his sacred gear's ability with an expression like a child getting a new toy and wanted start playing with it. And right now you were somehow grimacing when we arrived at the forest behind the old school building. So I'm sorry I was wrong. She mock apologized with full of sarcasm in her voice. Apology accepted. No need to worry, Kakashi said with a cheerful reply, ignoring the sarcastic tone on Sona's voice. The whole occult research club was just looking at Kakashi. They never thought that he would burn a forest down for just trying his sacred gear. They have misjudged his abilities since, from what they've observed on him, he was just a normal high school student. At first, he was calm in the news of being a devil, then he was able to use chakra, now they've heard about him burning a forest. They didn't really know how to judge Kakashi. Just like Rias said, he really was an enigma. Sona, who didn't expect that kind of reply, lost her composure for a second. She was sure that Kakashi would have just told the truth and apologized, but she was starting to get pissed at him for that remark. It was amusing when it was just Rias who was being annoyed. But before she could talk, Kakashi intervened. You people wanted to test me, right? So let's get this over with. I still have to read my book. He closed the book and put it on his small pouch attached on the left side of his belt. He then turned his attention towards the group waiting for the action to start with a stance. They were now standing in an open forest with a couple of trees and soft soil in the ground. He would be able to use his earth jutsus in this place with the provided ground. The water jutsus would be impossible, seeing there was no body of water nearby. Kakashi was now observing the place, thinking of whatever he could use to satisfy the curiosity of his company devils. He would not reveal every single one of his abilities in this place. I am a shinobi after all. It's in my nature to hide my abilities. Rias, who was irked at his attitude, now wanted to put Kakashi on his proper place. She would show this cheeky servant his place and she would start on beating manners on him. Kakashi would soon be begging for mercy. Rias chuckled darkly as she spoke. Then you would not have problems facing the whole occult research club. She then turned to Kiba, who voiced his own opinion. Kakashi just gave a simple nod while waiting. Bushu, isn't that too much? Hyodo-kun is just a new devil, so he wouldn't be able to fight all of us, especially you and Akino-senpai. He stated, looking at Kakashi with a slightly worried expression on his face. Yuto, are you questioning my decision? She smiled sweetly with a dark aura that promised pain. If one would look at her, one can easily guess that she was really pissed at Kakashi and she wanted to do nothing but beat him down for his disrespectful attitude. No, Bushu. I was just asking, Kiba replied while he frantically waved his hand with a gesture of denial. I see. Akino and Kaneko, you don't have any problems with this, do you? The two girls who were questioned just nodded their own heads and started to focus. Sona, who was watching the group, started to move away further, suddenly started feeling something. I have a feeling that this will be bad for Rias. I'm sorry, Rias, but when it comes to my intuition and sudden feelings, most of them are true. I just hope that it won't end too badly for you. Then, we'll start with Kaneko first, Kiba second, Akino third, and lastly me. Rias smirked mentally. She will be the one to deal the last blow on this disrespectful servant of hers. After that, she'll lecture him about his manners and teach his servant how to be respectful. I see. Then come with me with intent to kill or you'll never hurt me at all. Kakashi made a come at me gesture that only pissed off Rias even more. The other occult research club members were somehow a little bit miffed at their new club member's action. Kaneko stepped forward, facing off Kakashi, who had a unique type of stance. She didn't know what kind of stance is that. He has way too many openings. She gave an unseen sigh before going on her own stance. She was adept in hand-to-hand combat, so she should be able to attack the openings that Kakashi has. Kakashi was now in his own unique style, he didn't have a name for it. This style goes for counters while using his Sharingan, but since he didn't have his Sharingan now, he'll have to bear with it. By leaving many openings in his vital points, he would be able to expect the attack coming, so he would be able to counter it. The weakness of this style is that he can't use it on very fast opponents. He wouldn't be able to react in time if his opponent is faster than him. They would be able to attack the openings he would give, so if he faced any opponents faster than him, this style would be nothing but a suicide. Kaneko, I will be judging your fight. If you are both ready, you may begin. Rias spoke as she added. Kaneko is a rook, she's sufficient in close combat and she has a very high defense, being a rook. You won't be able to damage her much. I see. So she's a hard hitter type of fighter. If she really does have a high defense, I'll guess I'll use that one on her. Kaneko, who was finished stretching, started to dash forward to Kakashi's position. She swung her right fist down to Kakashi, who sidestepped a little bit to avoid her attack. Leaving her hand to punch the ground shook and cracks formed in it and it was crushed. She started to position herself back, but before she could do so, Kakashi gave her a strong chakra-enhanced kick at her stomach that sent her flying upwards. Kakashi jumped, following her at the air. While they were in the air, Kakashi grabbed both of her arms and he entangled both of his feet at Kaneko's feet and he positioned the both of them in a falling position with both of their heads falling in the ground as he rotated himself at a ferocious speed with Kaneko. They were falling to the ground as Kakashi let go. Only Kaneko was falling to the ground in a very fast speed. The group watching could only wince since Kaneko fell from her head down first to the ground. Kakashi himself positioned himself back into the weird stance as he waited for Kaneko to get up. The watching gallery could only stare at Kakashi due to his fighting prowess. They expected Kaneko to beat him up without any resistance. While it may be cruel, it was the truth since they thought that Kakashi never learned any fighting. In their eyes was a different outcome. Kaneko was starting to get up, even though she has minor bruises in her body. She just brushed all the dirt and dust as if she wasn't hurt at all. But it didn't change the fact that the new devil they were supposed to be testing had fighting skills. Kaneko, who finished dusting off most of the dirt and dust on her clothes, spoke at Kakashi. That was a good one, Hyodo-senpai. That technique was amazing, I underestimated you. You are still a pervert though. Kaneko spoke in monotone while chiding Kakashi. She was looking at him with a hint of respect. Wow, I gave you an Omid Renge, front lotus, yet you still managed to stand. Your rook-enhanced body gave you a strong, if not very strong defense. But less talking, more fighting now. Kakashi was feeling his stamina drain faster than he thought. The fatigue in his body was starting to rise from the usage of the lotus. His body was somehow hurting even though he wasn't hurt at all. I guess the lotus hurt my body a lot more than I thought. If I was not a devil, my body would have broken down. Thanks for that. I can only use the first gate as of now. The second and onwards would leave me hanging down. I should limit myself until strengthen my body enough. Rias, while worried for Kaneko, was fuming inside. Her irritation was growing for every minute she looks at Kakashi. She wanted for Kaneko to beat him up, Kiba to slice and dice him, Akeno to electrocute him, and for her to finish the job. She wanted to see Kakashi kneeling in the ground begging for forgiveness. Even though he's a strong servant, no one should be disrespectful of their master. Wait for me, if they can't beat you, I'll give you a good beating and a many spanks worth a lifetime. She scowled darkly as she looked at Kakashi, who was now engaging Kaneko in hand-to-hand combat. Kaneko tried to punch Kakashi in slight opening. Kakashi opened himself. He blocked, only to wince in pain as the rook-enhanced punch was grinding the muscles and bones in his arms. He was glad that he coated his hand with chakra as he blocked her punch. Kami, they have another Tsunade and Sakura here. He shivered in worry as he gave a counter punch at her temple. Kaneko bent her back as she dodged the punch Kakashi gave. She gave a kick to Kakashi's chin as she flipped herself back, only to see a log in Kakashi's position. She looked around, from her back, to her front, her left side, her right side, and the sky trying to find Kakashi who was gone. She also looked at observers who were saying something, but before she could comprehend what they said, she felt a hand tugging her left foot from the ground. She started to sink fast enough down to the earth itself, leaving only her head visible as she struggled from the ground. Kakashi rose from the ground as he gave an eye smile to Kaneko who was glaring at him. She knew that he was the reason she was buried in the ground. You won't be able to move for a while, Chibi-chan. Kakashi ruffled her hair, making her scowl at the affectionate action. You should train your speed for a little bit, you're quite slow on the uptake. She just gave a glare while ignoring the advice, but she started to relax as he pet her even further continuously. She even gave a slight purr before looking back at Kakashi stopped. She gave a pleading look, wanting to be petted a bit more. Kakashi only gave her a smile before saying, you somehow love that, huh? But it'll have to wait a little bit. Just watch for a little while, I'll give you a good petting later on. Sona, Rias and the rest who were watching were broken out of their thoughts as Kakashi spoke to them. So, Kiba-san, you're next. Can we proceed now? I haven't got all day. Rias nudged Kiba to face Kakashi. He looked back only to see his master glaring at him furiously saying, slice him, cut him, dice him, or whatever you want, I don't care. She stated darkly at Kiba who was just frantically nodding at his master's order. Kiba started to move forward in front of Kakashi. Won't you get Kaneko-chan out of the ground? Less talking, more fighting, I won't be getting her out of there for a little while. Kakashi waited for Rias's signal as he positioned himself in a somehow laid-back and relaxed position. Rias was barely controlling herself at anger on Kakashi who was not even taking his fight against Kiba seriously. She gritted her teeth as she spoke, eyes, Yuto is a knight, for a knight they are very fast on their feet. That's all my advice for you, you boys may begin. Kakashi watched with a slight awe and amazement as Kiba formed a bakudo, wooden sword, in his hand and he grabbed it while steadying himself in a two-handed sword position. How is that possible? That was amazing. Oh, you're thinking about how I formed the sword, right? Seeing Kakashi nod, he continued. It's just my sacred gear, sword birth. It allows me to create swords, mostly demonic swords, seeing that I'm a devil, it's just that right. That's amazing. Can you recreate swords of other people? I never tried. But that's quite a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? I'll try it later on. Can you make anything besides swords? I mean a spear or something like that? Kakashi asked curiously. The ability to create and recreate any swords was amazing. If he met a person who could make any swords, especially those with abilities, yet he would still be able to copy the abilities as well. He would want a copy of his father's white light chakra saber. Scene break. A boy with a red hair suddenly sneezed at a girl's face. Am I getting a cold or something? He stated while rubbing his nose, not knowing he sneezed at his companion's face. He sweated bullets as he saw the girl releasing darkly aura with a sickeningly sweet smile on her face. Idiots don't get cold, but you know what? They get a beating of a lifetime. She proceeded to fire hazy black orbs continuously at the boy who started to apologize while running for his life. Scene break. He was really saddened that the sword was destroyed during the Third Shinobi World War. Even though he repaired it, that was quite a blow since he broke one of his father's prized weapons. Well, no dwelling in the past. Rias was getting ticked since they haven't even started taking their own positions. The two were just talking about swords. It was getting on her nerves. Yuto, eyes, take your positions and start fighting. I'm getting angry at the both of you. She screamed at the both of them who started to position themselves after being yelled at. Hyodo-san, we'll continue the conversation later on. But for now, do you want a weapon as well? Kiba asked. He wanted to know about Kakashi's abilities. They discovered many things about him. Being able to use chakra, proficient in fighting, having one of the Longinus, boosted gear. Who knows what kind of secrets he still keeps. Kiba wants him to show those hidden abilities. He truly is an enigma. Yeah, I guess I would want a Tanto, short blade, can you create a simple one? Just a wooden one since we're just sparring. Kakashi spoke lazily, not even caring at Rias who was glaring daggers at him and Kiba. A Tanto made of wood started to form in Kiba's hand. He threw it in Kakashi's position who just grabbed it. He started to test the Tanto, making some precise and quick strikes using the Tanto. After testing it for a little while, he placed it at his back, slipping it into his belt so that it won't fall. So, are we good now? If so, we could finally start. Kiba spoke. He saw Kakashi who was crouching made a quick low dash towards him. He grabbed the Tanto on his back and he made a quick slash at Kiba's left side. Shit, he's fast. Kiba thought as he barely blocked the blow by holding his Bakudo vertically and giving a parrying strike as a counter. Kakashi skidded backwards as he dodged the strike, nicking the very tip of his nose as he postured himself back in a relaxed but guarded stance while holding the Tanto on his right hand. Kiba also gave a somehow relaxed stance while holding the Bakudo in a two-handed position. You're quite fast on your feet, Hyodo-san. I didn't expect that, Kiba said at Kakashi who just gave an eye smile back. His stance was waiting on Kiba to strike at him. Kiba indulged Kakashi and he approached him in night-enhanced speed, running towards him while readying the Bakudo. Kiba was able to dodge Kakashi's strike with his agile body and quick speed while giving fast counters. Kakashi was groaning in pain from the minor bruises he received from Kiba's counters. Though, he was able to parry few strikes back, giving slight openings enough for him to make advantage of. They parried blow for blow, they blocked each and every strike of one another. They dodged every strike with their speed and instinct. Kiba had the upper hand, especially in speed, but Kakashi was able to keep up with his experience and instinct. The observers could only watch in disbelief as the two boys fought with the swords. They all know that Kiba had the upper hand, but they can't help and wonder, how could he keep up against Kiba? It was Sona who answered the unspoken question on their thoughts. No, Hyodo-kun is barely able to keep up with Kiba-san. He is expecting the strikes to come as if he was reading Kiba-san's body language. Kiba-san's posture, attention, stance, technique, agility and speed, he's experienced enough to read Kiba overall. His instinct is very honed to the point where he knows where the attack will come. How is he experienced? We have been observing him for months. He didn't even know how to wield a sword, much less to fight. Rias was shocked. Her anger at Kakashi's very person was starting to disappear as she watched the two with their sword plays. Kakashi, who overheard the conversation while dodging another one of Kiba's strikes, smirked inwardly. The perks of being a shinobi who fought in a war, that's how. He gave a counter which was parried by Kiba's Bakudo. They were engaging in a deadly and quick sword fight. One mistake would lead to another's defeat, but Kiba was the one who was forced to make that mistake. Kiba gave a quick thrust at Kakashi's open guard with his Bakudo. He didn't know that Kakashi gave that opening. It was dodged by Kakashi, who leaned backwards. His back arching, which dodged Kiba's thrust. Kakashi quickly placed his left foot behind Kiba's foot and he tripped Kiba. Kiba lost his balance when he was suddenly tripped by Kakashi, but he regained it. He was staggering a little when he saw Kakashi already positioned back, striking him straight with the Tanto. He blocked with his Bakudo, only feeling numbness from Kakashi's strike. He didn't expect a strong blow from a single Tanto. He also didn't expect it when Kakashi released his hold on the Tanto and he was kicked forceful enough to make him feel the blow and he flew backwards. Kiba groaned in pain. 2 or 3 of his ribs were probably broken from Kakashi's kick. What did he expect from the person who defeated Kaneko-chan, who was the powerhouse of their peerage? Of course, someone who just pile-drived a rook head first down to the ground would be strong, if not crazy strong. He buried the Bakudo on the ground as support for him to stand up. He saw Kakashi approaching, reaching out his right hand to help him stand up. Here, that was a good fight though. You were fast, faster than any new Junin. I could barely keep up with you. Kakashi, who was exhausted from the quick but exhausting fight, gave a slight smile as he saw Kiba, who grabbed his hand, was now facing him while giving the same gesture in return. Yeah, I didn't expect for you to trick me in the last one, since we were having a sword fight after all. Kiba sighed, a little bit irked at the fact that the fight was not finished with only swords. Well, I'm a ninja after all. We ninjas use everything for our advantage. He gave an eye smile in return. Kiba just gave a light laugh in Kakashi's response, only thinking that it was a joke. Really? A ninja? Was that a joke, Hyodo-san? He gave a pat at Kakashi's back and he started to walk away back to the group as he heard Kakashi grumbled something like, "Stupid blondes as always." Kiba saw Rias with a slightly worried expression towards him. Sona was giving Kakashi a calculative gaze, making Kakashi shivered. A small chuckle escaped his lips and he saw Kaneko, who was still ahead. Akeno approached him and she gave a small bottle of cold water. Era, you've had quite a workout, haven't you, Yuto-kun? She gave a smile with her eyes closed as she walked away when Rias called her to face Kakashi. A workout? Huh, more like a one-sided fight against an experienced soldier. He was holding back way too much. He didn't even use his sacred gear or his chakra. I wonder how much you're hiding, Hyodo-san. He looked at Kakashi and Akeno, who were facing off against each other. Akeno, who was now in front of Kakashi, spoke lightly with a hint of amusement and arousal. At her voice. That was quite a show, Hyodo-kun. I wonder how would you fare against me. I can't wait to punish you. Yufufu. Kakashi was now looking at Akeno with a somehow fearful expression. God, just how much does this world had the same people from my own world? This is just Anko all over again. That woman was scary as hell. My stamina is almost drained out. And my body is now feeling the bruises from my fight against Kiba, and the fatigue from opening even only the first gate is starting to get to me. I shouldn't have used the lotus. I need to finish this as soon as possible. I wonder how she fights. Kakashi thought with a slight groan from the pain on his bruises he had all over his body. Eyes, Akeno is a magic specialist, especially in lightning attacks. She's my queen. That's all the advice I am giving. Akeno, you can use most of your attacks if you want, seeing that Eyes can handle himself. If that's all, you can begin now. Rias said with Kiba, who was sitting at her left side, and Sona, who was watching at her right side. Kaneko was slightly farther away, but she was at Kiba's side. Hyodo-kun, if it's alright, can I transform so that I can wield my magic against you at its strongest? Akeno asked Kakashi, who just gave a slight nod in response. Don't worry, you'll enjoy the show. Akeno started to transform. Her school uniform was slowly changing into a traditional Miko attire. Kakashi, who was wondering earlier about what Akeno said, started to giggle as he looks at Akeno's curvaceous form. Her bountiful was jiggling as her school uniform disappears as she appears, then her body was being compressed by the clothes was starting to form in her body. Kakashi looked at Akeno, who was now wearing traditional Miko attire, consisting of a white haori with red accents, making her jiggling. Even more noticeable, a red hakama straight down to her feet that accentuates her curves in her hip, and a pair of zori with white tabi. Kakashi was gobsmacked at the transformation as blood trickles down on his nose. He started to giggle perversely at Akeno's attire, but he quickly drowns it away. Your transformation was quite good, but nothing could beat Naruto's. That Waroke no Jutsu, sexy technique, was even more amazing than your transformation. Hyodo-kun, you're not satisfied with my transformation. Akeno looked at Kakashi when she decided to continue. So, someone has a better transformation than me. Kakashi was quite surprised at her statement. How did she read my mind? Are you a psychic? He exclaimed. So, someone is indeed better than me, then. Yufufu. You looked at me with your perverted desires, then you started to throw me away for someone else. Akeno spoke with fake sadness, then Kakashi interrupted her. Don't make it sound so dramatic. He cried out, only to be ignored as Akino continued to speak. I see, so you don't want me anymore. You need a punishment for being a bad boy, Hyodo-kun. She smiled sweetly with a sadistic expression. Her left hand was on her cheek and her right hand started to crackle yellow lightning. She called out a lightning attack that was barely dodged by Kakashi. Shit. She's really another Anko. He screamed in his mind. He was tired enough from the sadistic tendencies of the Kunoichi back in the elemental nations, now he would have to deal with it again. Bushu, should we calm Akino-senpai down? Kiba asked before getting a gesture of denial. As much as I want to see how will Eyes deal with Akino and her sadistic behavior. And it's for revenge as well. So you shouldn't worry about that. Rias spoke, her eyes gleaming with a vengeful look. Kakashi was dodging the non-stop barrage of lightning Akino was calling. Her expression was that of a sadist. She was even sporting a huge blush on her cheeks as she continued her barrage at Kakashi. Era, Hyodo-kun, stop dodging so that I can punish you for your cheating tendencies. We're not even in a relationship in the first place. Kakashi cried out as he barely dodged a yellow streak of lightning coming from the sky. After rolling to the ground, he saw Akino's hand pointed at him, releasing another streak of lightning. Kakashi sighed. He didn't want to continue this battle of attrition, so he did another unexpected action from the eyes of the observers. He started to form numerous hand seals and he cried out. Raiden. Suin Raiju Suiga. Lightning release. Twin lightning beast tracking Fang. Blue lightning started to form in both of Kakashi's hand as it continued to expand until two hounds of lightning started to make a dash towards Akino's attack. The two hounds of lightning were running in a straight line with a hound in front and another one in the back. The first hound intercepted the incoming lightning attack from Akino. The hound burst into tiny bits of lightning and the other hound even moved faster than it was before. Akino was barely able to dodge the lightning beast by flying. She used her devil's wings to dodge the dashing beast when she heard Rias's voice spoke loudly behind her. Akino, look behind you. Turning her head towards her back, she saw the hound made of lightning following her even in the air with a trail of lightning behind its back. She was paralyzed by the attack when it hit her, making her fall to the ground with the lightning in her body still in effect. One cold see bits of lightning in her whole body. Rias ran towards her and she tried to grab Akino, only to be jolted by sudden lightning. Eyes, what did you do to Akino? Rias asked seriously. She wouldn't forgive him if he did something unforgivable at Akino. But before Kakashi could give his reply, Akino was the one who gave the answer. Don't worry about it, Rias. He just struck me with a lightning technique that made my whole body paralyzed. Even my mouth should be, but I was able to speak, so his technique is not that efficient. So I won't be able to move for a while. You probably won't be able to grab me as well. Except for him, I guess. She spoke at Rias, who only gave her a nod in return. Kakashi was now panting. He was obviously exhausted from the never-ending exercise of dodge lightning. Then he casted one of his most chakra-consuming techniques. He should have just finished the fight earlier with that. Why didn't he think of that? I'm hopeless, he thought with a tired sigh. Rias motioned Kakashi to take Akino and placed her towards a white blanket that was prepared by Kiba. He took Akino in a bridal position before placing her back in the blanket. My technique was quite efficient, thank you very much. The reason you were able to speak was because you had an affinity towards lightning. If it was anyone else, then they won't be able to speak at all. Kakashi chided her rather childishly. So, he doesn't want his techniques to be insulted, that's quite cute. Akino thought with mirth before speaking. If that's what you want. But you're quite an enigma, Hyodo-kun. You're quite good at fighting as well, anything else you're hiding? She asked curiously as Kakashi just got up and started to go back at the center of the field. He looked back at her and he spoke rather seriously, who knows? Maybe I can rip dimensions or something like that. He just gave her a slight grin. Dimensions? Surely you jest. You're quite funny, Hyodo-kun. Do you mind if I call you Issei-kun? She asked with a chuckle while waiting for his permission. Sure. I don't mind. If that's what you want to call me. He replied while thinking. At least, no one can say that I didn't tell them anything. He thought with a hint of amusement. When he got back to his original position, he saw Rias positioned in front of him, with a light smirk and a somehow arrogant air around her. She started to speak. You're quite good eyes, defeating the 3 of my peerage. Though you must be quite exhausted, huh? Well, that's to be expected against someone who would be arrogant to face off my whole peerage. I'll tell you this, before things could get ugly, you should just give up and accept your punishment. If you do that, I'll lessen the punishment I'll give. She stated arrogantly with a smirk at him. He was now exhausted, his stamina was nearly down to 0, the fatigue from using his techniques earlier was making his body feel like crap, his chakra was half from all the fights earlier. He enhanced his body, his punches, his kicks, his strikes, his speed, his arms, his hands, his feet, and even using a draining technique. Of course, he would be on his last stand. So that was your plan, huh? To exhaust me, then you would give the final vendetta. Luckily, I can still move even when I'm exhausted and my body's broken down. You will receive my strongest technique. Kakashi thought with slight wincing from the pain of his body, though he still managed to give a small smirk at Rias. I'm a king, and that's all you need to know. If you don't have any questions, let's begin. Rias exclaimed with a gleeful expression as she started to form an ominous aura on the both of her hands, and she called out. Power of destruction. The malicious energy was coming towards Kakashi as he dodged. Looking back to the place where the energy hit, a horrified expression crept up on his face as he saw the ground from where he was earlier become nothing. Do you like that, eyes? It's the power of destruction that can only be used by those of the Bale clan and 4 members of the Grimoire clan. It's hereditary, so no one would be able to use it like we do. That's what I'll use to punish you. Grovel in the ground and beg for forgiveness, say sorry for your cheeky attitude, then I'll give a light punishment. She stated with a smug smile. The girl was getting on his nerves, being an arrogant and a bratty princess. He has the perfect punishment for this kind of brats. I'll wipe that smug smile off your face, brat. Kakashi stated before dodging continuous onslaught of flying dark energy towards him. After getting to a good posture with the perfect position, he used Kawarimi with the slight small rubble behind Rias. On the eyes of the observers, they saw Kakashi being eaten by the malicious energy from Rias's hand. Looking at Rias, they saw her having an expression of euphoric happiness. She began to cackle madly. Ha 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 ha. That's what you get for being a bad servant. One who can't follow his king deserves to be punished. Hopefully, you're still alive and I would be able to heal you later on anyway, so I will just punish you. She gave a squeal of joy from the attack she caused. The group could only looked at Rias as if she was crazy, but before they could talk to her about what she had done, they saw a poof of smoke behind Rias, revealing Kakashi, who was in a crouching position holding the both of his hands in a hand sign similar to the one he did earlier, the one that produced lightning beasts. They now stared in Kakashi at shocked. He was able to dodge the power of destruction and now he would retaliate with the lightning in return. Oh, how wrong they were. Kakashi placed a little bit of chakra in his tiger hand seal and he screamed out. Kanahagakure Hiden Taijutsu Ogi, Senin Garashi. 1,000 years of death. He cried out the technique with an overly dramatic name. The observers were gaping at the incredulity of the technique. They saw Kakashi plunge the weird hand seal in Rias's bottom, which was causing her to feel constipation and pain. Rias flew rather high while holding her as she cried out with the tears forming in her eyes before she sprawled in the ground. Rias could not believe what just happened. Somehow Kakashi got behind her and she suddenly felt pain constricting in her. She flew up because of the chakra from Kakashi's hand seal. When she realized what just happened, the tears did not stop flowing from her eyes as she started to cry. She sprawled in the ground holding her, quite erotically, but no one cares about that right now. They were all looking at Rias, who was wailing, her sobs filling the forest non-stop, and the tears never stopped flowing from her eyes through her cheeks. Waahhhhhhhhhhhhhh. Oni-chan. Oni-chan. Rias cried out. Her voice spread throughout the whole Kuo Academy campus. The black cat was slamming her paws in the tree branch she was watching from. When she came back because of the chakra she felt, she didn't expect to see the heiress of Grimoire clan to be pierced with a finger in her. She could not stop laughing holding her stomach. She even fell down from the tree, but that did not stop her from laughing non-stop. By the end of the day, Rias did not stop crying as she was carried back to the club room. Kakashi was already gone after he dragged Kaneko on the ground.